Hi, welcome to Intuition, Your First Sense. This is Vicky. I am going to talk about something that is widely used in therapy and in coaching, as well as in any of the beautiful 12-step programs that are out there. And it's typically referred to as the AAA or the AAA method. So it would be an acronym, and we know how much I love my acronyms. And it stands for the awareness that we need to have in life, then the acceptance, then action. I, in my coaching, have added a fourth A, which is accomplished. And not to make everything so goal-driven, but come on, we need those. We need something to shoot for, something to strive for, and a way to celebrate afterwards. And this is not something I came up with. It is definitely well known, and it is based on Asian culture, actually. And it's just something that is simple that I feel like if more people understood, it would give you the method. It's in the name, right? It would give you the method to be able to navigate life. And that's, I feel like, a large portion of my role is to help people navigate the life that they're in. So the first A of the acronym is awareness. And awareness can be tricky because in order to activate the awareness, you do have to literally shine a light on it. You have to turn the light on. And with awareness, you need to be facing whatever is coming up for you. So a lot of my work is helping people to acknowledge that those emotions that they're feeling are there to help them. The emotions are actually there to give a direction in which to go, to face, to open up to what is possible and what is amazing about each individual. And awareness ends up being the opposite of denial. It ends up being the literal powerhouse that helps you to see what's going on inside and what could you do with it. And a lot of the times when awareness is happening, we feel that uncomfortable in your own skin or conflict or even avoidance, which, yes, I get is another A, but we don't really want to encourage avoidance. We want to encourage the awareness. So if you are feeling in your life and you notice that you're avoiding things, you're scrolling on your phone, what I call going to Staples for paper clips. You don't need paper clips, but you'll come up with a reason that you have to get in the car and go somewhere. Or you get busy with a project that actually wasn't a priority in your life, but it suddenly is the most important thing that has to be done. A lot of the time that can be an avoidance of the whatever's coming up in you, and the awareness wants to make itself known. It's like tapping on your inside. For me, it shows up right between my solar plexus and my heart space. I feel kind of like where the xiphoid process is in that little indentation in your rib cage. I feel there. And it takes me my own communication, my own self-coaching to be able to be like, Vic, that's your awareness spot. What do you want to look at? Why are you avoiding it? And I feel like the more we face things, the less we have that turmoil, because you learn to believe in yourself. You learn to trust that you're going to be okay, that this awareness is coming up actually to bring you a gift. It's presenting itself to help you understand more about yourself, but also to maybe expand who you are and to appreciate yourself. There's going to be a lot of A's in this episode. So the awareness is helping you to also recognize that you might want to jump to that other project, or you may want to avoid or ignore what is necessary to be explored within yourself. This is where patterns often show up. Once you allow awareness to be part of your world, and you would do that by saying, why am I feeling this way? How am I feeling? What do I know about myself? What is this presenting me? So you become the reporter in your own life, and you interview yourself and you ask questions. And if you can do it with a bit of detachment, not emotional detachment, but a little bit of space between yourself and the situation, you'll find that it gets exciting to be aware. When something comes up for me, I do get the feeling, but then I'm like, ooh, something else to figure out about myself, something else to learn to be able to minimize the conflict. Because when you get excited about learning what's inside of you, even if it's about most especially if it's about your story of origin, or it's about a pattern that you've been engaging in that is no longer serving you because you've become aware of it, it becomes like a different kind of goal. It becomes an exciting treasure hunt. And it becomes less about what's wrong with you and more about your capability of uncovering what's in there. And it helps to pause between, oh my goodness, this is going on, I need to jump right to action. But action is not the best next step. And because we tend to be told, just get it done, or get busy, or you're lazy if you're not acting, there's a certain level of that. But in this case, the awareness that's coming up will need space. It will need to breathe the fresh air that's available once you acknowledge that something is in conflict. And this could be, and often is, about relationships. I had an experience this last weekend, and I went into it with an awareness that this could be challenging, this could be difficult, but also the awareness that I didn't want it to be that way. I wanted to go into this get together with people to be light, to be open, to be, and the next A is accepting, but that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be accepting of who I am in any given situation. And if this group of people just couldn't handle it, or didn't like it, or couldn't meet me where I was, that was okay. So my awareness going in took away any nervousness or any conflict or even any dramatization that my ego may have wanted to bring up. The awareness that I am in charge of who I am, and I live in this body and in this emotional state, and I want to be of a place that is so vibrationally clear and clean that I don't bring crap to the table, right? Because we do that, and it's okay. And it can make all situations just that much more difficult. And I want to help everyone be in this place of awareness so that we have less conflict between us. And as we were driving away from the event, yes, I had some processing to do. It's not like this stuff is immediate simply because I'm conscious of it or I've been working it so long. There was some processing, and there was some acceptance, which is the next place. It's a place where honest examination happens. And it's because there could be some discomfort in it. And there is a little bit of discomfort in accepting that those that you want to be so in alignment with you, and you want to just have those deep conversations and talk about things that matter, well, it's just not there. And there's a little bit of discomfort with that, because then, you have to ask yourself, are these my peeps? And it's possible that they are your peeps, but they're your peeps for different levels of communication. And there's a discomfort in that for me. There was a discomfort. It's easing. Now that I'm 4 days out, it's easing. And the acceptance comes in when you can ask yourself, am I okay with this? Am I agreeing to accept the situation or the way of being to go along? Or am I accepting it because this is how it is and there's nothing inherently wrong with it? There is absolutely beautiful to be with people with who they are and how they are and not want to change them either, because again, that was my ego, right? So acceptance is often a discomfort place. It's been given the connotation of acceptance as this, oh, this is sweet. I accept all. No, it's hard. It's difficult and it's so healthy. It's wise to do it with support and guidance of those who have been through the process, because then, we can say to you, oh my goodness, acceptance is not sugarcoating or saying it is what it is. That is a lazy phrase. It is what it is a lazy phrase. That means that you're accepting not at the level of where you are capable of perhaps changing or affecting change on a situation. So when you're in an area or a frequency of acceptance, please know that the entry point to acceptance is discomfort. It is even conflict or vibrational discord within yourself. And that's difficult. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to accept that I have to feel a bit uncomfortable in order to feel peace. But it's part of the process. And the more that you are accepting of the accepting process, the faster it moves. When you pay attention to all of this stuff, and not in every moment, you don't have to micromanage everything, but when you pay attention to the process, and this is why it's so widely used in therapy and coaching and in programs, because it works. There's an app for that. I created an app for developing intuition. I created an app that will help you connect with community. And I created an app where you can take courses at your own leisure and then attend live events with myself and the rest of the amazing people that are connecting within the Vicky B app. You can find this app in Google Play. You can find it in the Apple Store as well. I do hope that you head on over there, download it. Yes, there are in-app purchases, but there's also plenty of content that is complimentary. Thank you so much for being interested in this, and I hope to see you within the app. So when you become aware of the acceptance place, and the questioning of it, you may have to ask yourself, how long have I put up with this? And why have I chosen to put up with this or live this way so long? It is vitally important right here that you do not bring judgment into this, that you watch it, you explore the acceptance aspect of it in a curiosity and in a lit up place of feeling like I get to be responsible for cleaning this up within myself. I get to understand that acceptance is a power move. It's a place of allowing myself to see that maybe I don't want this situation in the way it is. Perhaps had I gone to an event and recognized that it wasn't sweet. It was incredibly sweet. It was incredibly lovely. And that what I know was because I brought my acceptance of where I am and the acceptance of where they are, and recognize that it can be incredibly beautiful to be with people that maybe we don't have a lot of in common, but being responsible for my part of it and bringing my processing before the event, I know allowed it to be that fun and playful. And Also because kids were involved and they're always a lot of fun when you don't have to raise them. That's just where I am. You may be in a totally different place. So with the acceptance, there is that responsibility, right? Of, is there anything in this that I need to do differently? With after acceptance comes action. If there had been something that I needed to change, and you know what, there really is, now that I think about it, the action part for me in this situation has been allowing disappointment to flow through me, allowing my own frustration to be there because it's not where I want it to be, and yet it's beautiful where it is. So the action part for me was in journaling, was in writing, was in taking walks and processing, was in asking myself, are you asking more of other people than they're willing to bring? That's not okay either. So action is necessary. So if you were in acceptance that maybe your household is less than tidy, and everybody has a different version of tidy, perhaps it's less than tidy, and you have all of a sudden become aware that the awareness part of it, that I don't like living like this. This feels awful to my energy field. It will. The more stuff we have in our energy field, the more stuff we have in our environment, it will clog your energy field, and then it'll feel yucky. Perhaps you've become aware of that. So then action step would be in taking one small project on at a time, not the whole thing, because habits have been established and you only change habits by creating new habits to move in. The brain likes to move things in. You know that expression, the universe doesn't like a vacuum? Well, it's true of the brain too. You need to move something in if you want to move something out. So you want to release a habit of clutter and avoiding picking up things and cleaning, then you have to move a new habit in, and please, please, please make it a micro movement habit. Make it something small, because when you move into action, you actually have to move your body. You have to take out the trash. You have to become wise to what hasn't been working before, and then use that intelligence to create a system. Maybe you were never taught to clean. I find that a lot, actually, working with people. I used to work a lot with those that were hoarders and also those that were bordering on becoming hoarders. And I often found that they just weren't taught how to do a process, or maybe it didn't come naturally to them. So this is the part of moving in a habit that is helpful and supportive while moving out the habit of avoiding or ignoring. So you've become aware of what's happened in your space. There's an acceptance that you're responsible for it, and then the action can come. Do not jump from awareness to action. You will revert. Your brain will just freak out and revert. Okay, so this is also true in healthy eating, or in wanting to exercise, or in hiring someone to do work around the house. If you jump just to action, you may miss the part in the middle that is so powerful in accepting that you require help. And the ability to say, I need help, is one of the most amazing, beautiful, expansive things that we can do. And when you have help, you can then navigate this action place. You can then create a system that supports you. You are not a cookie cutter version of everybody. One of the things I love most about the way I coach, it's not cookie cutter. I don't have a standard, this is what we're going to do next, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. Yes, there are systems in place, but it's important to me that we meet on your level in what works for you, because not everyone could handle a full weekend purge when talking about cleaning out a space. Sometimes we work on the same closet for a month, and that's okay, because you want to lay down the sustainable work. And if you remember, awareness comes first, acceptance, and then action, you will already have created a massive, powerful system. So in awareness, you're identifying that there's some kind of problem or dysfunction that exists that needs changing. And then in acceptance, you're willing to be in the uncomfortable place where you come to grips with the idea that, well, this lives within me, but it's not me. It's in there somewhere, but it's only a single characteristic of me. And it's one piece of the beautiful puzzle I am, and it no longer fits. And it needs to be removed, and the puzzle shape needs to change. And then when you get to action and the implementation of it, you begin to create literally new pathways in your brain and a circuitry that fires for your benefit. And then it begins to restore the belief in self, the self-esteem, the self-surety, peace, integration, balance, hope. And then the fourth A that I've added is the accomplish, because I feel like we need to give ourselves permission to be proud of ourselves, because that sustains what we've been doing, right? It makes us want to come back for more. It's the wiring of a human. Why do you go back to the habits of self-care? Because they filled you up, whatever that might be. I know I return to physical activity because I see the benefits in my muscles and how my back feels so much better when I do it. So I feel accomplished when I've picked up a room, or when I've worked out, or when I contacted someone that was on the list to contact. That accomplishment is what keeps you coming back for more. It can be a drug of choice, and it can be a healthy drug of choice, like homeopathic. And then in the accomplishment, you get to ask yourself, well, this is the world I want to live in. What kind of world do I want to create next? How do I want to see this opportunity of my own power and expand upon it? And yes, do the comparison of, would I rather live like that? How I've been living before, of chaos, anxiety, even danger. Or would I like to live in a place of, sometimes there's stress, but it's mostly peaceful and full of hope, and it's defining myself in a way that I really like who I am. Is that where you want to live? That's a question you can ask yourself. Do I want to live in this place of knowing who I am and liking who I am, and knowing that's still going to lead to expansion? We are never going to stop growing. So the more comfortable you can get with the quadruple A process of awareness, acceptance, action, accomplishment, the more you're going to really love being a human. So give this a try and write it down so that you have some remembrance of what it is, and then follow yourself around, be aware of what you're feeling, and ask yourself, which quadrant am I in? You'll know when you're in accomplished, because usually you'll do the, I did it, yay, go me. That freaking rocked, and high five. I really think it's important to high five ourselves. If you want to have the life you've been talking about, these steps are very important. If you need help, you can find me at VickiBaird.com or info@VickiBaird.com or at Coach Vicky Baird on all the platforms. And let me know if you need help. You can go to the Vicky Baird coaching app or the Vicky Bean app, because I'd like you to be loving to yourselves, be helpful to you, and be accepting of who you are, because you're pretty amazing. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening to Intuition, Your First Sense. As always, please like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening to it. Leave a review and take a minute to share it with a friend. You can find me all across social media at Coach Vicky Baird, and you can book a virtual session with me from wherever you are in the world at VickiBaird.com/booking. That's VickiBaird.com/booking. BAIRD.com/booking. Thank you again and see you on the next episode.